What's up, world? It's your boy Tommy Mab, and I came to give you guys my process on a lot of this BS that's going on as per usual. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is I want people to pick a side, right? Because when you go out into the Jordan sphere, that's just a wild ride, right? So it's like those of you who grew up in the ghetto understand what I'm talking about, right? You ever go when you grow up in the ghetto, you ever go out and just sit on your, like, some people live in like New York, so they have like a stoop. Some people live in like more country areas, so they have like a porch. I am more, Florida's kind of like the mid between, metro and country, so it's kind of like the middle. I had like a porch slash stoop, right? It's like a porch, but then was another like duplex like right next to my apartment, right? So it's kind of like a meshing of the two types of structures, right? Anyway, I grew up in a I grew up sitting on a porch, right? So I would sit on the porch, and you just kind of sit out there and you just watch the ghetto, right? And that's why I think reality television has its roots. Because if you're black and you grew up in the ghetto, you knew all you had to do was sit out in front of your porch. Some crazy shit you never seen happens, and you're like, how in the world can this continue to keep being this crazy all the time? It's because you're dealing with people who aren't who their mentalities a lot of times. You got like 90% of the people in the hood are smart, hardworking people, but the ones that you're gonna see the most aren't working. They're not doing anything, and the reason why they aren't doing anything because they got way too much damn time on their hand. One, and two, they're not working for a reason. They're not trustworthy, and they don't make decisions that are consistent. They're chaotic. So 1 week they're I want to work, and the next week they're, I don't, I'm in a bad position. I don't have nobody to watch my kids, and this, that, and the third. They got a million reasons for why they ain't working. But so those people, while the 90% of the ghetto that's hardworking and good people are going to work, you have what's left over, which are the criminals, and the irresponsible people, right? Because they never go to work. They're rocking around, and it's almost creates this vacuum where it's just like the Lord of the Flies. It's like a bunch of people who have childlike decision making skills, and those childlike decision making skills generally lead to them making a lot of dumbass decisions. But it's amazing theater. Like, you just sitting there watching it, like, oh my gosh! Like, I had this one situation where this girl was sitting out right, like two stoops. Like right across the street from me. She stayed. She was on the porch. She's going crazy. And funniest things is, like, these people are like boxers. Like, they have like the funniest fucking one-liners you ever see. So you just sitting there, like, just watching this unfold. And every time you sit up there thinking, like, this could have been easily avoided had she just shut the hell up. And the reason why I tell this story is because I like to point, that's what it's like being a normal NBA fan and you dealing with Jordan fans. And when you go out into the Jordan field, it's like being in the ghetto and sitting on a porch, right? 90% of the Jordan fans are logical, regular people, right? And they just think Michael Jordan's that. But it's the 10% that go above and beyond that just seem that basically just make it seem like everybody in there is just batshit crazy, right? The newest thing now is that now LeBron James has too much help, right? They blown out the last two opponents, which I knew would happen. And I said would happen, and I said, don't change the narrative. Remember what you said. Remember, they're gonna get bounced in the first round. They better hope Anthony Davis come back, because if he doesn't come back, they ain't gonna be able to beat nobody. And I just put my hand up. said, okay, we'll just keep that same energy because I know it's going to turn the other way. And when it does turn the other way, I don't want to hear no excuses, right? You already said the team is terrible. So if LeBron wins with them, you have to give him credit. Deal, deal, not deal. Now all of a sudden, it's back to the Lakers are too talented. You can't really like he has all this talent, so therefore LeFraud should not be able to be put in the same sentence as Michael Jordan because now he has too much talent. Oh, the talent around him is crazy. You know, I mean, if like Jordan, it would tell me when Jordan had this type of talent, it's just mind numbing. No, Jordan never had this type of talent. You know why? Because Jordan always had more talent than this. But that goes beyond what I'm saying. What I'm saying, and I don't want to get in a discussion about shit that we all know is true, but they refuse to accept. It's like dealing with that. It's like dealing with the person who when you ask them what they believe as a religion, they don't have one, but they're busy poking holes in everybody else's religion, and then you ask them, "What the hell do you believe?" Well, I believe I believe there's a God. It's okay. So what is your belief for belief? What is your reason for believing that? Well, I mean, because I think the universe. Okay, so you think there's a God, you don't really know who he is, but yet you're sure that other people are wrong about who he is. And then you sit up and you have discussions with people all the time where you're cutting down everything they believe in, the reason why you don't believe what they believe and why their rhetoric is crazy. And then you talk to you and you have none. It's like well, who the hell are you to talk crazy to someone else about what they choose to believe when deep down you really don't have a solid case yourself for what's going on, right? Not saying that I do that. My theory on stuff like that is always like, look, I got truth. You looking for it. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you land on, that's what you land on. But at the end of the day, what my truth, I don't have to go find the truth. I know what the truth is. You are busy trying to disprove my truth, which you can't, and you haven't found the truth yourself. And that's the way I feel about Jordan fans. It's like they'll tell you a whole bunch of stuff, and then when you sit in there, you like, okay, so you sitting there, you real good at cutting down Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. You're real good at that, but you're not so good at deciphering the advantages and disadvantages of the player you like. They'll tell you LeBron's finals records, how much he averaged in the fourth quarter, how much he averaged when two people are drinking beer at halftime. It's like they'll tell you all that that's negative about LeBron. But you ask them a simple question about Michael Jordan. What was Michael Jordan's 3-point percentage when he retired? Wasn't too damn good. Well, that's not that big. Okay, so the fact that he couldn't shoot threes well doesn't affect your case of considering him the greatest player of all time. Okay, what did he average as assists in his career? It doesn't matter. So when it comes down to stuff that makes your boy look bad, it doesn't matter. It's just that wasn't his game. But when someone says it wasn't Bill Russell's game to score or LeBron James's game to score, then all of a sudden we switching it up. Well, it should be his game. Oh, okay. Well, if I like the way LeBron James plays, and I think that's what makes him great, then I would like Michael Jordan to play more like LeBron James, right? Because we can't have double standards. But it's always like that. It's like, oh, when you they can cut down every other, when people start cutting down their pay, it's like you talking about their mama. They won't have a discussion with you. If you don't know, you don't think. Because one thing I realized, especially like when you're dealing with like females, because females are emotionally driven a lot of times. So in a lot of instances, a female will get in an argument with you that she know going in she's gonna lose, right? Because she knows she has no real basis to believe what she believes. She's just emotional. So when she gets emotional, she starts to just blah 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 blah, and she starts over talking you. Every time you try to break down what she say, why what she's saying makes no sense. She becomes very belligerent and starts to just try to do anything to mess up your train of thought. Because the truth of the matter is, she knows when you break it down to the logical sense, she's gonna be wrong. So she tries to keep it in the emotional field, because when you keep it in the emotional field, you ain't never gotta confront the facts. and why what you're saying is utterly crazy. It's batshit crazy. Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. That's what I find with a lot of Jordan fans. It just becomes they start to get emotional, and then when you start to press them on why do you say this about him, but then you give him a break on this? Why do you say this about? I ain't even gonna have no argument with you. If you think that Michael Jordan ain't the greatest of all time, I ain't even having no discussion with you. That means, see, a person who logically has what stand with, kind of going back to the religion thing. I don't mind having a discussion with somebody about religion because I know I stand on hard rock. But when you stand on sand, you don't want someone pointing out the flaws in putting your house on sand, because you want to be happy living in that house on sand. So when someone's telling you, hey, dude, why do you hold LeBron to this standard, but you don't do that for Michael Jordan? They want to shut it down because it's not to protect to win the argument. They want to protect their own belief. And when you start to tell them stuff about Michael Jordan, they start to get angry, and because now you're corrupting their childhood. You're corrupting everything that they ever, them being a little kid sitting in front of their thing when he is 6 years old, thinking they're watching Superman. Same feeling that kids today are getting, that they don't care about with LeBron, that people that they don't care about disrupting. Right? It's like, why is there a double standard? If you want to believe that Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time, that's fine. But if me and you gonna have a discussion, you can't turn around 5 minutes after saying LeBron James, the Lakers suck. The Lakers suck. Anthony Davis carried them. All this. I mean, you could not believe the BS I heard. And I got up on this channel and I said, okay, keep that same energy, because when it goes the other way, and LeBron them start winning games, I don't want to hear LeBron got all this talent. I don't want to hear the media kisses LeBron's ass. I don't want to hear any of this stuff. Right? I want to hear you just admit, okay, LeBron has a okay team. Because an overstacked team don't lose Dennis Schroeder and go on a 4-game losing streak because no one else can score. Okay? That doesn't happen. LeBron has always needed a second point guard because it's pivotal to the way that he plays basketball. He always, when he goes on, he needs someone who can do what he does, so that when he goes to the sideline, all the pieces that work in congruence with him, they can have someone else to work with. That's why he works so well with Rondo. That's why he works so well with Dennis Schroeder. Because you have a point guard that can come in and do those things when LeBron is on the bench. And it works so well because both of them can score in a myriad of ways. You didn't really have to respect Rondo's three, even though that's why they ended up going on a chair, because they didn't respect Rondo's three in the playoffs, and Rondo ate them alive because of that. They should have respected his three more, and the fact that they didn't ended up being a big reason why the Lakers went on a tear in the playoffs, because Rondo can shoot three. So Schroeder is like that. He's just a younger version. He can take you off the dribble, and if you do not respect his three, he will torch you. And they know to respect his three, so that makes it so much harder than it was with Rondo, because Rondo gonna get his assists, but most of the time he's gonna get his assists. He's gonna have to work harder for it. Then Schroeder ain't gotta work that hard for his assists, because they have to come out to him. And when they come out to him, now you're dealing with a guy that is so quick that he can take you off the dribble. So you can't really get too close to him. So you have to stay and kind of buzz. And now you giving this guy free reign to either shoot the three, take you off the dribble, or pass. And he can do all three. So now you're stuck with like, oh, guys, what am I going to do? And now you got these moving parts that are moving all over the place. Now they've added Damian Jones who can roll to the basket on top of that. So you like, oh my God, these guys are a good team. Dennis Schroeder was an amazingly big piece that they lost. That's why you realize when Anthony Davis went down earlier in the season, they didn't have no problem because they always had Dennis Schroeder. But when they took Dennis Schroeder out of the lineup, now you got the Lakers with just LeBron, who can do both. Now, Kuzma is still kind of young, so he's not really to the point that he can do what LeBron James does to the extent that LeBron James does it yet. But the rest of them, you know what I'm saying, they do it in small doses. But they can't do what Dennis Schroeder does, right? Be a point guard that can do all those things. But they all work well off of a point guard that can do those things. That's why now it's like they're blowing teams out again, because now you have another point guard that can continue to keep the momentum when LeBron goes to the bench. I saw the Nets again, and once again, I mean, they lost to the Dallas Mavericks, and everybody was like talking about how great Luka was, which to me is like, I like Luka, but I mean, come on, they were playing with Harden by himself. I mean, it's not like he was playing a real net. So that's a non-game. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't think the Mavericks are set up to beat the Nets at all. Not even in the slightest. I think the Mavericks really aren't set up to beat anybody. And I really don't think they're going to be a good team. Because when you look at the Mavericks, they're so reliant on Kristaps Porzingis that it's like they need him in certain games where they need to score, and then in games where they don't need to score, where they need to just play defense and be hard nosed, then he's a liability. So it's a crazy dynamic on that team, because it's like Luka does so many things, but he's also very ball dominant. And when you're dealing with a guy that is that ball dominant, and you're a guy like Kristaps Porzingis, who's your real talent comes from your versatility and ability to take the ball at the top and do whatever you want to do. Now you're giving the man the ball with 12 seconds left, 10 seconds left, catch and shoot. It's not like you're not putting Kristaps Porzingis in the same position he was when he was on the Knicks. You're dealing with a guy who now has to work off of a guy, and I'm sorry, he's not the same player when you limit his touches and you limit when he gets the ball. He's not able to make a decision of whether he's going to take someone off the dribble or shoot or you know what I'm saying, pass it or shoot three. Now you just basically turned him into a spot-up shooter or a spot-up postman, and that's not what Kristaps Porzingis does well. He's a good shot blocker, but he's not an inside presence. He's not going to stop anybody from bodying him up under the rim. He's like Kevin Durant in that regard. So they got to do something, make some type of just trade, or they're going to get blown out in the first half. First game, first chance that they run into a big man, they're going to get blown out. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, Jordan fan, keep that same energy y'all have. Y'all had. Keep that energy. Don't switch it up now and say LeBron James and the Lakers are too good. LeBron James shouldn't get any credit because his team is too good now. Or that when you were just saying Anthony Davis carried the team and LeBron was gonna get bounced in the first round. Keep that same energy. All right, y'all. Peace.